Seeker here. Josh Reshoot.
Littlefoot.
Got Littlefoot in the building. We're broadcasting live. This June. What day is it?
The
8th? The 8th, year of our Lord 2020, broadcasting live from the New Orleans metropolitan area, also known as Wagtown, Stangtown, what. I hope you guys are holding up during, everything that's going on. If you don't know, let me just kind of like clue you in a little bit here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get situated, but cops are brutalizing specifically black people,
Specifically
again,
murdering
them in the streets on camera now.
while fellow good cops stand by idly.
Yeah, the good cops aren't doing anything. They're just kind of standing by.
And they all know they're being filmed.
And it took like 4 or 5 days of protests before we had arrests in the case. Within the first couple of days, you had Minneapolis district attorney on news cameras talking about that they had more evidence that justified the officer's actions,
Which was the murder of George Floyd.
Yes. And again,
Didn't release any evidence.
didn't release the evidence, just said that there was. And don't believe me, go look it up. That's the awesome thing about America. You don't have to believe me.
Then, 5 days after that, they came back and said it was underlying conditions and had a toxicology report of the drugs he had in his system.
Yeah.
Whenever under normal circumstances, when they're trying to investigate and find out how someone died, it takes months to get toxicology reports.
Oh, yeah. It takes forever. And, not only, this response was over a supposed counterfeit $20 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed counterfeit bill. And it wound up being for real. It was a legit bill.
Yep.
So they called the cops for nothing. And your boy's dead now. Good job. Good job, boys in blue. And
everybody was supposed to be fine at first because they all got fired. It's like,
yeah,
you can't just go find a new job when
No.
you murder someone. You
No.
kind of need to be held accountable for that harm and, destruction you visited upon people's lives.
And the thing that just makes me laugh that I hear, these arguments that people have to come up with is, whenever you have the black on black crime, you don't see any of this outrage. That's literally where these arguments go, and what these people will say. Okay, and by these people, I mean racist. Because don't get it twisted. Okay, you're not gonna have to twist my arm to convince me Black Lives Matter. Okay, I get it. I'm not.
Blue lives aren't a thing.
Yeah, blue lives are not a thing. Okay, yeah. You've had people that have. But I'm sorry, I'm getting away from it. People are bring up the whole they don't get all offended like this over black on black crime. The thing is that whenever black on black crime happens, the responsible parties have to answer for their actions. That's what happens. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but the justice system's kind of overflowing with it. It's just there's lots of crime all over the place, all over this country.
And everyone else is held accountable.
Yeah.
Except for this special group.
Yeah, these
of boys in blue.
That are supposed to be enforcing the law, that are supposed to be the examples of law and order. That's what you see on TV all the time, right? That's what they have all these TV shows for.
But they seem to have their little secret fraternity society boys club of we've got secrets.
Yeah, secrets.
Yeah, they've got a little secret club, and they don't tattle on each other.
No.
Because they're good boys.
No.
In blue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you're picking up on my mocking tone, but like,
yeah.
fuck the police.
Yeah.
In the parlance of our time.
Yeah. It's just
good cops don't stand idly by while someone is being fucking suffocated on the ground for 9 minutes.
Yes.
With people standing by, filming and screaming.
That you're
murdering him. He's calling out that he's dying and he can't breathe. And
you continue to keep your knee on the back of his neck and hold him down on the ground while one officer is on his chest, the other is on his legs.
And you're like whistling fucking zippity doo-dah with your hands in your pocket because you're a immense asshole of like proportions that I can't even put into words.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Waste of flesh and bones. Like, it's sad that kids die from cancer and like you get to be on this planet.
Yeah.
If that gives you any idea of what I think of him.
It's a total fucked up thing.
Yeah.
And it has no place in our society. It should not happen. You know, that's why we really haven't had a podcast in a really long time, because, you know, to come back on after all this stuff happens, and not address it, like, I wouldn't be able to do. And I don't like to dive into subjects that I don't have information on, and I'm not able to make an educated decision on, to have an informed opinion. That's the problem, okay? It's not the problem that people have opinions. It's that people have uninformed opinions.
And I'm spicy. I just need time to cool down. I'm still pissed off. I'm at my max level pissed off about all of this still.
Yeah. You know, that is... It's something that's hard to do in today's society, to not rush to judgment. To try to, you know, force an issue, force a side, okay? But what we're talking about here, okay, is not a political decision. This is not politics. Don't get this shit confused. Because there is a lot of people right now, especially in the South, here in New Orleans, who are trying to make this a politics issue. This is not politics. This is morals. This is people's lives.
Basic right and wrong.
Basic right and wrong. Do you believe in justice or don't you? The president is aligning himself with fascists. And how he's doing that is by being against Antifa. Sorry. If you didn't have fascists running around with swastikas and rebel flags screaming white power and throwing the N-word at every dark colored person that they see, you wouldn't have Antifa, because that's the sole reason for them existing. There was a war in the 40s, World War II, where America was Antifa. Remember that? Or did I dream that? Is that a Mandela effect now?
I mean, they definitely taught me that in history, but they didn't teach me a lot of other shit in history, like when the U.S. bombed its own citizens, like in Oklahoma, because black people were making too much money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows what's true of what I learned in history.
Exactly. And yeah, and that's true as well.
But I believe World War II was not a hoax, if that's...
I mean, but...
I think that's a safe stance.
it used to be pretty American to be against fascism.
Yeah. Word.
And these Antifa groups are literally existing because you have white supremacists walking around on the streets of America and they are protected by police.
Mostly because, like, they are police. It's the same reason you never see Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus in the same room.
Rage Against the Machine wrote a song about it.
We should
Some
play
of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. That's what it means. It means that, some of the people that are your policemen are the same people who are the racist Klansmen burning fucking crosses at night. And, since the recent protests and everything that, Netflix and Hulu
Everybody,
and
your grandma.
Everybody and your grandma now is pushing, like, black info.
The NFL, funnily enough, that's not a word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but,
they're pulling out their Black Lives Matter cards.
Yeah, black informative documentaries and, like, putting them on the forefront of, like, what's happening in the communities.
Support black businesses and, like...
Yeah.
Finally lift people up instead of oppressing people.
And...
It's a nice thought. I'm going to give them time to put their words into actions.
Exactly. So, because what's happening is that all these companies are saying this shit, but Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job at the NFL.
Yep. So now it's time to hold them accountable to their words they have spoken.
Yeah, but now you have Roger Goodell, who even refuses to name Colin Kaepernick by name.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, he refuses to name him by name, but he says that they were wrong in dealing with the protests in the way that they did.
What a douche.
Yep. Fuck Roger Goodell.
Fuck the NFL. I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Saints fan. As you can see behind me. But yeah, it's getting harder and harder to support these corporations. I've tried being careful of every dollar that I spend because I do believe in that. I do believe in spending your money with the corporations who are benefiting you the most. Even though, what benefits me the most sometimes isn't all that great. Being like Whole Foods and Amazon and stuff like that. Well, it's convenient. It's cheap.
You're left no other choice, and it's basically better than Walmart. I'm
exactly.
picking the lesser of two evils. You do it with your president. Fuck off.
Yeah. You do it with your president. I'm doing it with my groceries. Okay? That happens to me every day.
Mind your business.
Fuck. Jesus. But it's a fucked up evil because there are all these monopolies now. These one corporations own every single aspect of business and life for everything.
So what's the best thing you can do is start becoming self-sufficient.
Yeah, we
plant
need to start
a little
growing food.
garden. I'm not saying eat your pets or anything yet.
No.
But get some chickens. You
Yeah.
wanna
Get
start
some pigs.
taking care of yourselves.
Yeah, get you some pigs. Get you some cows.
As you can see
some
from
goats.
the TP crisis of 2020, these capitalist overlords of ours aren't giving a fuck about your raw ass, literally.
Grow some banana plants so you could get some bananas and then some banana leaves for your ass.
And get some privacy from your neighbors while you're out there hosing yourself down because you can't buy toilet paper at Walmart.
Yep. Exactly.
I see into the future. I wish people would listen.
But I have noticed since all the lockdown and all that, and the toilet paper thing, like on Facebook, there's a lot of bidet advertisements.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do when you can't get the goods?
Yeah, you need a water jet to shoot up your butthole. Oh yeah.
All right.
But
Are we getting a bidet or something? Is this like a sponsorship of the podcast?
oh no.
I've been self-medicating because I don't want to go to the pharmacy. I don't know if that's audible.
What's audible? Who the what?
It's Christmas time in the city.
I want to show this video though. This is something that Littlefoot shared with the podcast.
Oh man, I must have been blacked out. I don't even remember this.
Just Neil deGrasse.
I was probably in a blackout rage.
Neil deGrasse Tyson on
Oh,
being
yeah.
black and
Now I
women in
remember.
science.
Okay.
Two questions. The first question at the microphone.
The Larry Summers question. What's up with tricks in science?
Fuck you.
Slightly off topic, nonetheless interesting. Yeah.
It's science education.
Yeah, right. Does anyone want to field maybe if there are genetic differences between men and women that explain why more men are in science? Anyone want to touch that?
I've never been female. But I have been black my whole life. And so let me perhaps offer some insight from that perspective, because there are many similar social issues related to access to equal opportunity that we find in the black community as well as the community of women in a white male-dominated society. And I'll be brief because I want to try to get more questions. When I look at, throughout my life, I've known that I wanted to do astrophysics since I was 9 years old, a first visit to the Hayden Planetarium. I was a little younger than Victor at the time. Although he did it before I did. And so I got to see how the world around me reacted to my expression of these ambitions. And all I can say is the fact that I wanted to be a scientist and astrophysicist was hands down the path of most resistance through the forces of nature, forces of society. Anytime I expressed this interest, teachers would say, don't you want to be an athlete? Or don't you want to? I wanted to become something that was outside of the paradigms of expectation of the people in power. And so fortunately, my depth of interest in the universe was so deep and so fuel enriched that every one of these curveballs that I was thrown in, fences built in front of me and hills that I had to climb, I just reached for more fuel and I kept going. Now here I am, I think, one of the most visible scientists in the land, and I want to look behind me and say, well, where are the others who might have been this? And they're not there. And I wonder what is the blood on the tracks that I happened to survive that others did not, simply because of the forces of society that prevent it at every turn, to the point where I have security guards following me as I go through department stores, presuming that I'm a thief. I walked out of a store one time, and the alarm went off, and so they came running to me. I walked through the gate. At the same time, a white male walked through the gate, and that guy just walked off with the stolen goods, knowing that they would have stopped me and not him. That's an interesting sort of exploitation of this, what a scam that was. I think people should do that more often, all right?
Shopping with you.
Oh my god! I didn't even hear that the first time.
My
Oh
life
my
experience
God.
tells me that when you don't find blacks in the science, you don't find women in the sciences, I know that these forces are real, and I had to survive them in order to get where I am today. So before we start talking about genetic differences,
Right.
you gotta come up with a system where there's equal opportunity, then we can have that conversation.
Yeah, and I mean,
And she's an ally.
yeah, she's an ally.
And she straight up, I'm going shopping with you. In front of a fucking room full of people. Oh my god, what is wrong with people? I'm sorry. Holy shit. I didn't hear that the first time I watched it. Yeah, but that's great. He's right, you know? You always have to take your views and put a little bit of perspective on them. Mm-hmm. Because you probably don't, Well, you definitely don't know what you're talking about, and you probably don't understand what you're talking about. Unless you really fucking try.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to line up some articles here. Because, you know, but what we have going on now is it is a really fucked up situation. We have people who want to deny reality.
Which part are we talking about? The racism or the coronavirus?
Racism.
Okay. It all seems
Well,
intertwined.
in coronavirus, it's the same thing. Coronavirus is the same exact thing. You have people who want to deny reality and live in the reality that they've created because I live in America, so I can do whatever the fuck I want and I don't have to care about anybody or care about anything.
It's my prerogative.
Yeah. So what they do is basically risk everybody else's life because they think that that's a reasonable sacrifice for their little bit of luxury.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with that line of thinking is that you can't force people to be around you in situations like that and expect them to be happy about it or expect them to tolerate it. Because, again, we're talking about liberty here. And when we're talking about liberty, everybody has it. Everybody is entitled to live free and have nobody tell them what they can and can't do as long as they're not breaking the law. And, you know, what we've learned from history is that sometimes the law can be subjective.
Well, it is. What we've learned from history is that the law is subjective.
Yeah.
Just look at all the people that we've chosen to put in prisons.
Yeah, what's always legal is not what's always right.
Exactly.
But, you know, you should always do what's right and what's legal. And if you're doing those things, nobody should be able to tell you otherwise. Because we live in a free society, a free country. I get that, okay? But that's, again, if your freedom then infringes upon my freedom to live healthy, that's where we have a problem.
And not just mine, but potentially thousands of people.
And people connected to me that I care about because now, you know, since you've subjected me to it, you've subjected them to it as well.
Right.
It's a butterfly effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember that movie with Ashton Kutcher?
Oh, young Ashton.
We have to break things down in an idiotic forum for you to be able to fucking understand it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's really just pissing me off with this whole situation. It's like, it's common sense.
Yeah, like if you go to a wave pool in the Ozarks in the middle of a global pandemic, like somebody at the pool is gonna have the cooties.
Yeah,
So
they got COVID.
you're hanging out and you're making out and you're drinking and you're talking and you're sharing pool noodles and I don't know what the fuck you do in the Ozarks,
Yep.
but you did all that and then you go travel back to your podunk towns in the middle of Bible Belt Heartland America.
And you go try to interact
And
with
then you go to church
everybody
with
in
all the
town,
80-year-old grandmas.
Like you haven't been exposing yourself to hundreds and hundreds of people and possibly spreading COVID-19 to everybody you come in contact with.
You go pray for your sinning that you did in the mountains. And you go sit in church with 55 little senior citizens on Medicare. And you want to talk about people fucking stealing from the government on food stamps. You know how much their Medicare costs are going to cost if they end up on a ventilator? Fuck you. Like, these people are so ignorant to anything except for, like, themselves and whatever is on MTV nowadays. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
TikTok. That's a thing that the kids do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a fucked up situation, and if you have something to bring to any type of conversation, specifically racism, okay? Because we're dealing with all that as well as we're dealing with the denial of COVID-19.
Yeah. Oh, they think they're not racist by saying all
Yeah.
lives matter.
Yeah,
In response to Black
We're
Lives
dealing
Matter.
with the denial of racism and everything like that. It's just, you can't argue facts with only opinions. Like, it's okay to have opinions again, but those opinions should be informed by factual evidence.
You know what I think? I think the denial of racism plays into even the coronavirus aspect, because it wasn't until they figured out that, like, it was affecting and killing black people at a higher rate that it was like, oh, let's just go ahead and open up the economy.
Yeah. Because why? Because who's going to have to go to work and who's not going to have to, interact with the general public.
Right. People that
at a
fill
higher...
low income jobs are more typically, black people, like lower socioeconomic status people.
Yeah.
So all along, I mean, you can go back and listen to this podcast one day if you're ever really fucking bored. I've said that it's a racial issue first. Yes, absolutely. But then
it goes after socioeconomics. Yeah.
Poor people in this country are under fucking attack. Like, it's definitely a war against the poor.
Yeah. And people who are making, you making 150 grand a year and you're like, I'm rich, man. They can't raise the taxes on me. If the top 1% start paying, you are nowhere close to the top 1% of earners in America. Even if you have $10 million in the bank, okay? You got $10 million in the fucking bank. If you're making $100,000 a fucking year, you are not in the top 1% of earners in America. You are delusional.
Yeah.
You have no idea how fucking the finances and economic structure of America works.
How deep the money goes.
You should fucking get a textbook and start fucking reading and learning how the fucking shit is structured.
If you make $100,000 a year, you can almost afford textbooks.
Yeah.
No, you can afford them. College kids can't, but you definitely can.
Yeah. You're making decent fucking money. You're not rich.
Yeah.
You are not what we are talking about. You are not the top 1% of earners in America. You don't fucking have any clue how this fucking country works. You have no idea on facts. All you have is opinions. I have an opinion of this and I think it's shit. Why is that? Because that's what I think. Okay.
They just respond to what you say. It's just like you say Black Lives Matter and they say all lives matter. It's just so they can have a response. And it's like, if you don't have anything valuable to add, you don't need to respond. Just shut up and listen.
Yeah, just sit the fuck down and let the grown-ups talk. That's what needs to be fucking said.
You remember when Jesus said, blessed are the poor? And then the whole crowd piped up and screamed at him, what about us?
Blessed are all people.
Blessed are us, Jesus. You don't know what you're talking about, buddy. No, they sat there and fucking listened. Because they realized, wait, this guy might actually be teaching us that we're pieces of shit. Let's just hush and listen to him a little while longer and see if he says anything of value that we might benefit from.
If you actually read your Bibles, you could learn a whole lot of shit, like how this lesson right here that we're talking about, there's actually scripture about it.
Instead of holding it upside down for a photo op.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually scripture about it. Do you know how it goes?
Mm-hmm. I went to Catholic school for 13 years.
Let's recite it.
I'm not Catholic, by the way.
Let's recite it for the idiots
please,
at home.
No.
Okay?
Let me get drunker. Hang on. You go.
Jesus, he's watching his flock. There's 100 sheep there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so he's tending to him, and then without it being on purpose or anything like that, he loses track of one of the sheep that goes off. So he leaves the 99 sheep, to fend for themselves. So he finds the one that's
He figures 99 sheep can take care of each other.
Yeah, he goes, grabs him, brings him back, and whenever he comes back, the 99 sheep are like, well, Jesus, why did you leave us? Well, he's like, well, I had to go find the one that went away. He's like, well, what about us? Don't we matter? And he's like, yeah, you matter, but you weren't the ones in trouble.
You have 99 people caring for you, each other. This one's off alone. It needs help.
You should read your Bible, sirs. There's a lot of shit in there. Like, did you know Jesus was a Jew?
Why did you want to hear a joke?
What's that?
Okay, I hope I don't mess it up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, let me get a sip of liquid courage. I'm getting
I'm
stage
drinking
shy.
water. I'm drinking water.
Mine looks like water, but it comes from Russia. Okay, why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get a picture in front of the church with his Bible.
Yeah, and that's something that we haven't even touched on as well, is that you have peaceful protest. And the argument that's really happening with this is, oh, well, they're looting and they're being violent and they're attacking police. And, well, you know what I've seen? I haven't seen one fucking video that has shown people being violent after not first being provoked by police. Mm-hmm. Once police turn violent, yes, people go fucking wild and then start throwing this shit back in their face.
And just to be clear, because some people think it's okay to shoot rubber bullets and tear gas into crowds and call it crowd control, that's being violent. I'm not talking about cops shooting or beating people with sticks, even though they do that once they shoot into the crowds. I'm talking about
rubber bullets
antagonizing a crowd of people.
They are shooting at people's faces, and people are losing eyes. Journalists. They are targeting journalists.
They're doing it to everybody. They probably don't even know what a journalist is. They probably think that's someone on Instagram.
They're wearing bright fluorescent vests and they have cameras.
Yeah, they probably think they're an Instagram model. We're talking about police. They complete like 42 hours of training and they have a gun. They're not like the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But that reminds me of my story that I shared with you about the aggression techniques that the police use and what they were doing in D.C. with kettling. I don't know if anybody that listens to this podcast know what kettling is, but that's when you have a group of protesters and either one squad comes in on one side and then they push them from the other side, or they push them into a contained area. I'm talking about the police on a crowd of people.
You didn't send it to me.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I'm looking, I don't see it.
I might have messed up. But anyway, this happened in Washington, D.C. And so the police were doing that to a crowd of protesters, like 300 people, and pushed them into a residential neighborhood, into a cul-de-sac where they were threatening to start shooting them if they didn't disperse. Okay? So they're
trapping them.
Yeah, trapping them in a cul-de-sac and then telling them they have to disperse. So 2 residents at the end of the cul-de-sac opened their houses and just funneled the fucking rioters, the protesters, into their house and sheltered them for 8 hours and argued with police until they went away.
Jeez.
How badass is that?
Yeah. I mean, but...
They had people live tweeting from the houses, so y'all can go read about it.
Think about American history and the Civil War history and stuff like that, and reading about people hiding, slaves and stuff like that in their houses. That's what's happening right here. Like, you are living through right now a moment in history that is going on. I shared this meme on the podcast page, which is Facebook. Here you go, watch. It's facebook.com/TruthSeekerPodcast. Go there. I'm always sharing memes, stupid crap like that. We used to go ahead and share the articles along with the shows, but we kind of stopped doing that. But
you shared a meme. what you're doing.
Yeah, what you're doing now is exactly what you'd be doing during the Holocaust, Civil War, Civil Rights, Revolutionary War. Because, I mean, during those times in history, you had people on every side of the aisle. Everybody's arguing a different argument, like, oh, well, we should do this and we should do that. And, like,
And usually by the time you're out of high school, you understand who was right and who was wrong.
yeah.
Or should.
You should understand who was right and who was wrong. Well, right now, what's going on is that we have people who don't know what's right and what's wrong, apparently. We have people that still judge people by the color of their skin. And they could sit here and talk to me till they're blue in the face about it, but, you know, your actions speak louder than words. And what you do and you say, you know, only to specific, you know, people in this country speaks volumes of your character. And that includes the president, because the president is guilty of this as well.
He's one of the main offenders.
Yeah. And
He's like their little...
That's why all the little racists fall behind him. That's why it's apparent to me now that if you support Trump, it's because you're racist.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why, after all this shit, you would continue to support this man.
I have another thing I want to bring up that I'm just like
What's that?
so fucking sick of, and you're hiding behind, not you, people
know.
are hiding behind it, and I'm just over it.
Yeah.
They say, I'm colorblind, I don't see color. Blah, 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 blah.
That's bullshit.
Oh, I don't see color. We're all the same.
We all see color.
You see color, and if you don't see color, then you're not seeing what's happening to people, and you're not taking their word for it. You're not recognizing the pattern of behavior of white cops against black men because you're refusing to see color or ignorant to it or whatever the fucking reasoning is that you use in your head. But you need to fucking stop saying it because you sound stupid.
Yeah, it's
and
happening.
I'm over it.
It's happening. Whether you want to say so or not.
You need to see color, and you need to acknowledge color, and you need to be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Yeah,
because you see color and you see what's happening.
Yeah, you
but
see color and you're doing nothing.
Scared to speak up for whatever reason.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Is seeing color and then not speaking up and saying something.
We all see color.
Saying something to the people around you, especially the fellow white people that you. Because I don't know if you can tell by looking at this video or not, but I'm white. You know, so it's time to have these difficult conversations. There's nothing about this that's easy. There is.
And it doesn't matter if it's your friends or your family.
Or whoever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
There's no tolerance for this anymore. People are fed up with it. It's come to a fucking head. It really has, I think.
Yeah.
I think...
And another thing you need to do is just stand up against it. I think I've told the story on here before, and I'm not going to get into it, but I had an old white man come up to me in a thrift store one time and try to get me to engage in anti-Arab banter with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just
racist activity.
Yeah, I just like seriously went
Shut
off
him
on
down.
him. Yeah, screamed at him and called him an asshole and like went off on him in public and like just had no part of it. Like, just that anyone would look at me and think that I want to be a part of that is like...
It's because that's what... Honestly, if you meet a white person and they can't say the following statement to you, they're liars. And you should not trust that person ever again. Okay? Because any white person, they can't tell you that there are certain white people that talk differently in rooms whenever there's only other white people around. They don't tell you that shit happens.
They are liars.
They're lying to you. They are fucking lying to you because, again, I see it. I'm white. and like,
And you're a white male.
yeah, I'm a white male, so like Littlefoot said, like it's kind of like implied, and people will
Feel
try,
extra comfortable.
yeah, they'll try to fucking, you could be in a public place and you don't see anybody around or whatever, and then they will do shit like that.
It's usually older white males, but sometimes older white women. But the majority is old white men.
And I mean, you're having a resurgence in young white men.
Yeah,
because
you worked with a younger generation. I'm not around.
You're having a resurgence in that, and it's because of the fucking Donald Trump movement and this alt-right bullshit. No, what's his name, Richard Spencer,
Yeah,
and all
fuck
that.
him.
Yeah, I mean, the dude is a white supremacist. He's self-admitted.
He deserves every face and throat punch that he gets.
He is a self-admitted white supremacist, and Donald Trump is on record calling him and his people very fine people. And yet people who are protesting getting killed in the street are thugs.
Well, they have superior genes. They wear Levi's.
It's such a fucked up situation. Like, I don't want any part of you anymore. If that's the type of shit that you are gonna continue to support, and you're gonna continue to vote for, and you're gonna continue to pursue as far as like your political leanings, I don't need those type of people in my life.
Well, and at this point, it's like there's two kinds of Trump supporters. You're either a billionaire or a fucking idiot. So go take a look at your bank account.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Let me know how many zeros you have, or if you got a phone number or a phone number with the area code. If it's bigger than that in your bank account, then I can understand why you support Trump. But if you got like 10 G's sitting in your bank account and you think you're some highfalutin like big spender, I'm moving up and I'm going places in this world, like, you need to just calm down. Good for you. I'm very proud of all of your hard work. Go buy whatever you want to make yourself feel good, but you need to get on the right side of history on this one, because you're playing for the wrong team.
Yeah, because whenever we're talking about the top 1% again, like, we're talking like even incomes that are making a couple of $1 million a year, that's not in the top 1%. Like, when we're talking about top 1% of earners, we are talking about billions of dollars a year. People who make billions of dollars a year. Not, oh, well, I got $5 million in the bank. Okay, well, good for you.
Yeah, you should definitely set up a really
How much
solid will for your family.
Yeah, how much did you have on your W-2? Because that's where you range in respect of earners, not how much you have saved.
And how Trump's tax policy is really impacting your day to day. And
Yeah. Because I guarantee, if you're
working for a living,
if you're making six figures or less a year, you are paying more under Republican tax cuts. You are paying more.
yeah.
Sad but true.
For the most part, I think it's over like 450,000 up to like a couple million, like 10 million or something. Their tax bracket went up under Trump.
Yeah.
And the kicker is that a lot of people don't know about the Trump tax cuts is that the biggest cut was for was for the first year, and it's a 5-year decline in the rebate amount. So you'll be paying more in taxes each year for the next 5 years, at which point that your tax cut will disappear and the corporate tax cut that was put in place will remain.
All right, yeah, sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. I'm getting the camera back up.
It looks like there was an earthquake and also possibly a landslide.
Yeah.
I, however, have remained unscathed.
Here we go. Yeah, there we go. We got the cameras back. Cool as a cucumber. Oh, there you go. Yeah, not listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I did not make these graphics. These graphics are made by the Littlefoot herself. I convert them to this format for us to enjoy. And she agrees. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Because this is where I'm at with people.
Yeah. And we need a social distance. Oh, here we go. Yeah. We need a social distance, everybody.
Oh my God. Just wear a mask for
Wear a mask.
your grandma or whoever you love.
I'm just clicking through the graphics since we haven't done it yet.
Oh, well, that's not a good use of time. Stop
That's
that.
a great use of time.
I do not authorize the use of my image under these circumstances.
But yeah, that's what breaking news. This is a new segment. This is a graphic I made.
Uh-oh.
Haha! Breaking news. I love this shit. This is gonna be awesome.
We need like a siren or something. Do-do.
Oh yeah, like the Morse code.
Yeah.
The fucking shit. But what I'm gonna use this segment for, the breaking news segment, is for basically how I use all my humor is sarcasm. So breaking news is gonna be shit that should be plainly obvious to everybody. And this news story is actually help from Littlefoot as well. What we're gonna see here is this pool party in the Ozarks
Oh.
that Littlefoot was talking about. They use cell phone technology to track everybody, show where they went. So we got the video from the news story. Here we go.
We say to ourselves, well, I don't live there. It doesn't impact me. People partying basically on top of each other, not wearing masks, that's their problem. But think again. You're about to see new technology tracking those partygoers after the party. And wait until you see where they go. This Twitter video going viral this week. Crowds of people clustering together, ignoring social distancing beyond. This party at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri becoming a touchstone. The example of what not to do. I mean, look at this. Even sparking warnings from state officials.
We know that this virus can spread with clinical efficiency and is almost hyper-contagious. And so we have to expect that the virus is going to be able to spread easily in that type of situation.
Even if you don't live there, even if you don't know anyone at that party, you're still impacted. Check out this new video using cell phone signals on a heat map. A company called Tectonics using new technology to track cell phone signals. Every little blue dot is someone's cell phone that's turned on. No personal info is collected. This is the lake area throughout the weekend. Watch as the flood of blue spills in, showing a sharp increase of activity, even on the water itself. More and more cell phones, which means more people. Now they isolate the busiest pool bar where that viral video was filmed. Watch what happens when the party is over. It shows where they go after on their way home. Those weren't just locals, but people from all over, like St. Louis, Kansas City, and Omaha. And even if just a couple of people caught the virus, you can see the danger nationwide. I want to bring in Dr. Lena Wen, an emergency physician. And Dr. Wen, you have watched the video, you have seen that heat map, and those dots moving around. What are your thoughts?
And yeah, so I mean, I don't want to keep playing all this, but
The doctor says it's contagious.
it's contagious, and you know,
Like we've known for months.
well,
So why the fuck are you
this
having
is
a
what
pool
was
party?
going on during Memorial Day,
Yep.
and now here in Louisiana we had the tropical storm Cristobal. Nobody knows how to say his name right, so I just joined in with it and call him Crystal Ball. But so now that we had that tropical storm come and push through, the governor decided to shut down all the testing in the state
Until Friday.
Until Friday.
At least, they said.
Yeah, the tropical storm's gone now.
And it didn't hardly rain or wind.
Tropical storm's gone. We're not going to have testing till Friday. Okay? And you want people to make decisions with their lives. Mm-hmm. You want to open up an economy and force people back to work. when
that have already been working from home for 2.5 to 3 months.
yeah, we've already been working from home. We've showed that the economy can continue to work.
Or they can continue to create fiat currency.
Or they can continue to create fiat currency, however they want to do it. Because we do not know the impact of this virus. We do not know. And now
go ahead.
we don't know. Like, we can speculate all we want, but we don't have hard evidence. And
I will agree with everything you're saying, but we do have history books. And
yeah. We have history books, but now we have protests going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're shooting tear gas at all these people, and then that's gonna make the fucking spread of this disease worse.
Because tear gas makes you snotty and sneezy.
Mucus everywhere.
You're crying.
It's not a pretty sight.
All of the germs that come out of your face that you're not supposed to touch are coming out.
Pretty violent.
Yeah. They could use, like, acoustic sound cannons on people that just make you run for your fucking life and get out of the area. But no, they want people to snot all over each other and not be able to see and bump into each other and fucking fall on the ground and help each other up. Like, as much contact as possible. Because they know we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Yep.
Which I think we reminded you last time on this podcast. Pandemic is a term. It's a medical term. You can go look it up. It means it's all around the globe and it's really fucking bad.
But we always want to. That's a thing that just conservatives have just kind of like latched on to in recent years about like the money behind politics and money and everything. While they're taking fucking millions of dollars from, you know, every industry on fucking planet Earth. But, you know, U.S. critics of the stay-at-home orders are tied to fossil fuel funding. Who would have thought?
Oh, of course. Maybe it's because that was... Bleh. Maybe is because... I can't
Maybe.
say. Gas was like a fucking $1 a barrel. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm too excited and too giddy and I can't even get it out.
It's actually down to like
Negative
$37 a barrel.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Negative $37 a barrel.
That's what I'm saying. I was having flashbacks to high school, like
really
filling up for 99 cents.
I was gonna, if I was able to buy stock in barrels, I was gonna buy it at $4 a barrel. But the way that they have the stock market rigged, you're not able to buy actual shit where you can make some real money on. Like, they want you to fucking make the shit money unless you
basically have to be a hedge fund.
Yeah, you have to have hedge funds and shit like that to get into the big boy stocks like that. So, whatever.
Your 401k is a cog in the machine. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're making fucking rich white men even richer by getting your pennies on the stock market.
Oh my god, and do not check your 401k right now.
No.
Anywho.
But yeah, like gas was like literally
$1.50.
$1.50.
That's almost like olden days.
Out here in Wagaman.
That's almost like olden
days.
There's
no gas station. Like, you got the one gas station around here, so that's why they're usually pretty high, because they could charge that amount of money being where they are.
Yeah, I think I drove to Metairie one day, like, weeks ago, and saw it for like $1.27 on Causeway. Mm-hmm. They're basically giving the shit away back in the day when you could fill up for $20 and buy a pack of cigarettes and live Bush Senior's world.
Shootings, are you really gonna make me go to school? Why can't I be homeschooled like the weird
Jeremy video all?
Yeah. Doesn't
they showed you what lies they told you, but Thompson tough all over.
Yeah.
God.
Just because
anecdotal evidence is not real.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't count. I can't find my vocabulary right now, but I have the best words. I just can't find them.
You found a post from a black man that says that Trump isn't racist because he has opinions of him having the greatest economy ever. Oh, really? Well, facts disagree with that.
Oh.
Yeah. Facts disagree with Trump having the greatest economy ever. Facts disagree with Trump being a racist. So it seems that a black man posting his opinions doesn't really mean much of shit.
Or anyone posting shitty opinions.
Or anybody posting their opinions. Unless it is backed by some type of factual evidence. My opinion is worth shit. Unless it's...
But he's showing you everything his opinion is based on. So make your own fucking opinion.
Yeah. That's what this whole show's about. That's basically what I do. You know, I fucking read through shit. I try to make the best guess at what the truth is that I can get out there, and then I try to live my life by it. I wish everybody would do that, but apparently, it's too much of a burden on you to care about other people.
You don't even have to actually care. You just have to act like you care.
Yeah, you just have to act like it.
So just like wear a mask when you go into Winn-Dixie, or like, you know, the simplest things.
Or stop being a douchebag to the fucking to the bagger at the grocery store because they have a shittier job and income than you do.
Or
stop thinking that people, just because they have shitty menial jobs to your standards, shouldn't live comfortably and not have to struggle to survive in this world.
Do you hear the treat seeker? She's upset.
She's upset. And
You've upset my cat. Don't fuck with cats.
Don't fuck with cats. But we're done with your racist bullshit. I don't need you in my life. Personally, professionally, whatever the fuck it is, I don't care. I don't want anybody who wants to associate themselves with people like that and that behavior of racism and bigotry in my life, with my family, with people that I care about, because your decisions are hurting people. You are affecting my life. You are making it more dangerous for me to live and make a living. There's nothing that you are doing that is benefiting me in this world. So therefore, I have no use for you. Bye-bye. Have a good life. Wish the best.
Be best.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Get the fuck. You don't fucking think that violence is a good fucking answer. You want to know what Jesus did to people who fucking brought money into the temples? He beat them with fucking whips. He got fucking whips, beat the fuckers, and threw the tables over. Does that sound fucking peaceful?
What does Jesus know? He's just the Lord's son or something.
This is why I can't be a Catholic, because if you were a Catholic in America, you don't go by with what the Bible says. Like, you don't fucking live your life that way. It's all fucking fake. It's all bullshit. You know how I know that? Because I was a white kid that went to Catholic school and I saw how these fuckers act. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. They don't practice the bullshit that they preach. That's why I end this podcast every week with Make 'Em Hate You Like Jesus, because if you actually did the things that Jesus talks about, which is what I try to do, I try to be helpful, I try to, speak truth to power and help the people that are less fortunate than me, because I want everybody to succeed in life. I think everybody deserves a fucking chance.
That they'd call you a libtard.
Yeah, and I'm basically hated by everybody. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
Not really, but
I'm hated
some people.
I'm hated by a good number of people.
But I mean, those people are gross anyways.
Yeah, but fuck them. I don't give a shit.
And also needy, and also hypocrites.
Yeah,
and also
hypocrites. You're gonna learn one day. You're gonna have to live with yourself. Not me. So if you do all those types of things, you might be able to make them hate you like Jesus. See y'all next time.
Attention, citizens.